Let us try to understand about the lymphatic system. The oxygenated blood is carried out through the arteries, and if you zoom in these arterial vessels, you can see there are gaps which are present in between the vessels. So there is increased pressure of blood onto the walls of these arteries. With these increased pressure, in order to reduce that pressure, there is escape of some fluid through these gaps which are present on the vessel walls. So this fluid which is escaping out cannot carry the RBCs because the RBCs are bigger, so they cannot pass through these gaps. So whatever it is escaping is your plasma with few other proteins, which is your lymph. So this lymphatic fluid which is escaping out of the blood vessels is actually present around these blood vessels, like you can see here. So this lymph is actually taken up by the lymphatic capillaries. As you can see, the lymphatic capillaries will be present around the blood capillaries like this. And if you zoom in the lymphatic capillaries, you can see that whenever there is excessive pressure of this lymphatic fluid around the lymphatic capillaries, they snap open inside. These valves open inside so that the arrangement is there in such a way the increased circumferential pressure of the lymphatic fluid enables the opening of the valves inside, so that the lymph happily enters within the capillaries. Once there is accumulation of the lymph inside, the pressure will be increased, so the valves closes. There is no chance that through the lymphatic capillaries the lymph will escape out. So the accumulated lymph within the capillaries will increase the pressure and closes these valves in the opposite direction, so that the built-in lymphatic fluid is taken up completely by the lymphatic capillaries. And where do you think the collected lymph is drained into? In order to decrease the pressure within the arterial vessels, there is the loss of fluid, and it's a mechanism to decrease the pressure in the valves. Now, it makes some sense that wherever there is less pressure, the blood vessels where there is less pressure, this lymph has to be deposited. So this lymph is deposited into the venous system where there is less pressure when compared to the arterial system, so that the fluid that is lost is again replaced back into the circulation carefully. So this is about the lymphatic drainage. In some cases where there is bacterial infection, so these bacterial cells are also picked up by the lymphatic capillaries. Once these bacterial cells enters the lymphatic system, there is a high chance that they may enter into our circulation. But what happens? The lymph nodes which are present at every point of the lymphatic system, these lymph nodes consist of high concentration of our WBCs. So this WBC will police or will kill these microorganisms or the infective bacterial organisms, so that the lymph is purified and that only it enters the circulation properly. If there is excessive infection, in such cases, our lymph nodes will swell because there is high concentration of WBCs which are present or localized at that particular region. So that is why lymph node swelling is seen in infectious condition. In some lymphatic system problems, there is accumulation of the lymphatic fluid around the circulation or the vessels, because the lymphatic capillaries cannot take up the fluid which is oozing out of the blood capillaries. There is a problem or pathology associated with the lymphatic capillary system, so they cannot take up the lymph that is coming out. So in elephantiasis conditions, we can see the swollen legs. That is because of accumulation of the lymphatic fluid.